And that's why there is growth in the Weeknd when at this point in his discography.
Yeah.
Because this album to me goes back to the trilogy a lot in terms of sonically and conceptually. And it's stuck like. You have to throw in My Dear Melancholy in there too, because that's when he was, in my opinion, the most heartsick. That's when he was like,
that was when he was
like,
saddest,
I'm just
got
hurt.
dumped.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? So like he's kind of, and that's why I love it, because musically he gives you Starboy, he gives you the trilogy, he gives you Dead End Hip Hop album review. We typically do almost all the Weeknd albums. We've missed a couple, but there's no way that we was gonna miss this one. And when I say we, me and C-Town, what it do? But look, we got a new series out called The Listening. If y'all have not checked it out, you need to check it out. Become a YouTube member or Patreon, so that way you can get the unreleased joints. So we get artists to pick 3 songs. We've already had Shay Noir, we've had I Am God, and we've had Brother Ali. So if you want to hear the music with it, become a Patreon. If not, you know, be on YouTube, subscribe, send it to another person, and watch the interview. You know what I'm saying? But back to the Weeknd. Hurry Up Tomorrow. C-Town, this is where I'm gonna start. I had to go back to a couple of my favorite albums of the Weeknd after listening to this, and I think this is my favorite Weeknd album.
Damn.
Because
that's a lot.
It is. And like I said, like I had to go back. I went back to House of Balloons. I went back to Beauty Behind the Madness, which is my previous favorite album, Starboy, all of them. This album is a combination of all of them shits. Like he gave you every fucking thing that as a Weeknd fan you would want right out of the gate. Wake me up.
Wake me up.
Bro,
I like that shit.
The nigga sampled.
Even got me on fucking rhythm for a minute.
Thriller. You know he sampled Thriller.
Oh, did he sample it?
Bro, that's Thriller.
I couldn't tell. I figured he just sound like Myke. It's natural sample?
Yes.
Because I hear the dum-dum.
Yes.
And I was like, that sounds a little
familiar.
Bit. Okay.
Yes. And then Cry For Me, I don't know what Michael Jackson shit it is, but it just feels like Myke. It's so crazy. And like me and my wife was going back and forth because like he, in my opinion, is a better singer. Obviously, Myke is a better performer. Like, we've never had anything like Myke that can sing, dance, do everything. But I love how Weeknd just leans into it. Like you could tell that he was inspired by, and he doesn't shy away from it. And like the first 2 songs, you get that right off the bat. The thing I love about this album, Myke, is he always tells a story throughout the album. But what I had to realize is that if you are not a Weeknd fan, you don't pick up on it.
No, absolutely.
Because I told my brother to go listen to it. This is my favorite Weeknd album. I talked to him yesterday. He was like, bro, this is like trash. I can't listen to it. I said, what? Oh, bro, I had to gasp. And he was like, man, it just sounds like he's really crooning. You can't hear what he's saying. I'm like, dog, like I had to take that. And then I listened to it again and I'm like, you know what? I feel him. Because my first couple of listens, I was overwhelmed by the sounds. Like I couldn't pierce through to the message, the lyrics on my first couple of listens. It was just so odd, like it just had me everywhere. And then the way, like the crescendo of Sao Paulo, oh my fucking God. Like what is like Weeknd, what are you doing? Like this is the Hills version on this album, like just the loudest shit that's on this album that is so amazing. And then he had the feature on there that, you know, she's talking in Portuguese, which brought it home, which was dope. A lot like Beauty Behind the Madness, a lot like the trilogy, where he always has this battle between drugs, women, and love. And how he just drowns himself in drugs. You know what I'm saying? The kind of, and then it goes back to Beauty Behind the Madness when he's like, you know, like this is the best version of me. You know, and you see him just, or you hear him just going through the cycle all over again. And unfortunately, that is the Weeknd I like.
Yeah.
Like when he goes away from it, it's kind of like, it's a little boring. But then when he's on this type of shit, that's why I think this is one of his best albums.
This is definitely one of his best albums, but I can't say it's his best. I'm still going to stick with Beauty Behind the Madness for me. But my first thought listening to this, I was like, oh, this is easily his best album since Starboy.
Oh, 100.
I don't know if it's overtaken Starboy for me yet, because I love the Myke Jack in Starboy so much, but this one is just pure. It's like if Myke Jack was young now.
Yeah.
And just because he'd be into drugs and all
Oh,
types
yeah,
of shit.
yeah. Myke was a G. People dismiss him because of the high pitched voice and all. Like, you hear stories from other celebrities like Myke didn't play that shit. Bro, he from Gary, Indiana.
Is he?
Yeah. Like Freddie Gibbs talks about his dad was a singer and always used to lose to Michael Jackson in the local contests and shit.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's a shame. I wouldn't even try with Myke. But I thought this was going to be a crooning album. I thought it was going to be just him a bunch of whining, and I was like, all right, that's fine. I like whining Weeknd, so that works. But when that beat switched and it got funky, and I was like, oh. And I heard the doom, but I didn't know that was a direct Thriller sample. I thought it was just like them paying an homage. So that's actually funny.
Or I'm not Beezy 430, so I don't know if like they took the sample and used it and did whatever. Or
I mean, it sounds exactly like it.
It does.
So
I don't know.
You're probably right.
But I know it's Thriller inspired, regardless.
Yeah, absolutely Thriller inspired at the very least. But yeah, when he got to singing, I was like, oh my God, this is great. Cry for Me to me sounds like throwback Weeknd.
Yeah.
This sounds like trilogy era Weeknd.
Yes.
And the way he's, I hope you cry for me like I cry for you. I was like, oh shit, god damn, this boy's voice is just incredible. So you talked about Sao Paulo.
Yeah.
So that one was very different for me because I was like, this is not the sound that I would expect out of Weeknd.
Me neither.
And I like the fact that he took that sound and he made it his own. And I'm not here to bash nobody, but the first thing I thought is I was like, see, Drake can't do this.
Yeah,
it's like anytime Drake tries to like jump on somebody else's sound, he just tries to sound like them.
Yep.
But like Weeknd is dipping his toes in this like Brazilian kind of funky sound or whatever, but it still sounds like Weeknd.
Yep.
If he came out and was trying to fucking sing in Portuguese, I'd have been like, bro, this is stupid.
Yeah.
But no, he let her do that.
Yep.
And then he does what he does.
Yep.
So it still sounded like a Weeknd song.
And see, like my brother, he moved to Brazil. Like that's officially his home now.
Oh, good for him.
And he was talking about how, like in Sao Paulo, that's where all of the ladies like the black dudes. So that's
there you go.
I know.
There you go. That's why he did it.
That's why he did it. And my brother went to a Weeknd concert there last year. He said it was fucking crazy. Like it was the women. Like it was crazy.
I believe it.
So when I heard that and the stories my brother told me, also what he said about Sao Paulo, I'm like, yo, Weeknd was getting fucked up out there.
No, yeah, and that's why he specifically went with that particular place.
100%.
That's
100%.
It didn't start to irk me until 9, and that was with Travis Scott. Now the thing is, this is funny. The first time I heard it, I was like, this is garbage. Who the fuck let Travis Scott even in this room? Get him the fuck out of here.
No, go ahead.
And then
correct that.
Next couple of listens, I was like, skip. I just skipped the whole song because I like the song. I hated Travis Scott's part. Now I don't love Travis Scott's part, but it's not bad.
And it makes sense as part of the story that he's telling.
Yes, it fit. I just didn't like the pitch shifting. I didn't like the super low register that he was going for. I was like, man, this is stupid. Sonically, it threw me off. I was like, I don't fucking like this sound. But you know
why, though? So that song is in the part of the story where he's getting back to the drug use.
Right. So it's supposed to be him being fucked up.
Exactly. Right. Which is not really chopped and screwed, but slowed down. Yes. And then also when he calls Shorty, you hear him pouring the lean. You know what I'm saying? And then as she's talking, she gets slurred.
Right.
So he's falling back into the...
But see, I didn't catch that first.
Okay, listen. I got you.
I remember you saying like, first listen, you don't really dive too much into the lyrics
you just
themes.
Feel it.
I was just listening.
Yep.
And on listening, I was like, get Travis Scott the fuck out of my face.
I feel that.
But after I sat with the album, after I skipped that song 3 or 4 times, when I sat with it, I was like, oh, I get it now.
Yep.
That's fucking cool. I'm not a huge Travis Scott fan, but that shit worked. Enjoyed the show.
Yes.
Same thing.
Amazing,
I was like,
though.
get Future the fuck out of here, bro. What the fuck is Future doing? Now, I'm like, I fuck with Future's bounce on this song. It's
Bruh,
dope.
It was much needed because
it breaks it up a little bit.
It breaks it up a little bit. And in all honesty, all of Future and Weeknd collabs are fucking, they're really good or great. Like there's nothing, in my opinion, that they've done collectively that's mediocre. It's always good or fucking amazing. And to me, that was amazing for a couple of reasons. Number one, it brought back a little bit more of a bounce to the album. Yeah. Because after Sao Paulo, he slowed it down and he's getting fucked up. This one is like, he's still getting fucked up, but it's kind of, he's talking to his audience saying, this is how you love me. Enjoy everything that I've done. I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you enjoyed the show. And then the way that Future came in, I can't feel my face anymore. Yeah. And it
and
just,
I was like, ew, bruh. Tweak that tone. It works now. But
it works.
It didn't at first.
It works because you can also take this as him like going from the lean to something harder now. You know what I'm saying? We know he does the cocaine and all of that because he's literally talking about I can't feel my face anymore. And then if you listen to the Weeknd's lyrics and Future's lyrics, they're talking about whatever drug of choice that they're talking about kind of sort of as a woman too. And that's why I always love how Weeknd does it. I did like
that. Yep. It took me sitting down with the lyrics for me to be like, okay, this is actually cool. Playboi Carti still hasn't sold me.
Really?
No. I don't like that song and I don't really care for his feature.
Okay.
Now, it could be a week from now. It might click like Future and Travis Scott did. But for right now, I do not care for Playboi Carti at all on that song.
He fit too, but I would say he is the weakest feature out of everybody that was on there.
It's funny, like I almost heard like a Kid Cudi or something on that before I heard Playboi Carti. I don't know. Again, this is not me shitting on Playboi Carti. It could be a week from now and it might click. But right now, I'm not really feeling it. But, the best song. I can't wait to get there. I felt like he resurrected Quincy on that song. That production was perfect. And it sounded exactly like some old Mike Jack. Vintage, peak era Mike Jack. I was like, oh my God, this is so incredible that he was able to do something like Abel. Anyway, that shit is just amazing, man. But yeah, man, I'm not gonna go through every single song, but this album is fucking great. Yes. It is great. Now, it is long.
It is.
At first, I was like, I don't feel like we need an hour and a half long Weeknd. But after listening to it, I can't take any of this off.
Yep.
There's nothing on here where I would be like, oh, this album would be better if this song was gone.
Yeah.
Nothing. I mean, even the Playboi Carti song, even though I don't really care for it like that, that's probably the only one that I would say, I could do without that one.
Yeah.
The rest of this?
Yeah.
Because I really wanted to come in here and be like, oh yeah, remove this, and this would be like a 45-minute long album. It'd be better. No. This is perfect the way it is, and especially when you're looking at it from the standpoint of this is the last Weeknd project.
Yep.
I think we deserve an hour and a half 100%. Long final Weeknd project, 100%. But I'm still digging through it. I'm still digging through the story. I really I can't remember what song it was where he's talking about almost dying in the bathtub.
The Fear one, Baptized in Fear.
Yeah, that song is beautiful.
It is. Isn't it crazy how he can? I thought about this too on the joint you really like. I can't wait to get there because it sounds like he almost made a deal with the devil. Because like when he says I signed this, and then it's kind of like my life is gonna change, so he's optimistic. But
I thought it was about a contract, but maybe the contract.
You're right. Well, the contract could be like the deal with the devil.
Oh, wow, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And how he has those background singers that sound like angels. Like he makes these concepts like so juxtaposed to each other. You know what I'm saying? So so you could be, kind of oblivious to it like you typically are when you're signing contracts and you're dealing in the industry. But then, you live through some shit and it's obviously the complete opposite, which is the life that he has lived through the drugs and the ups and downs and all of this type of stuff. So I thought that was interesting.
That makes sense.
And then Baptized in Fear. At first, I felt like a lot of these sounds very synthy, very Weeknd, but very much so like, in my opinion, Scarface, the movie. It felt like 70s. It felt like it could score a Scarface movie, like a modern interpretation of a Scarface movie. And that was one of those joints that, like, when I first heard it, I'm like, But then, you know, when you sit down and you start listening, it's like, oh, this, like, that's him drowning back into, you know, the cycle.
For the first time in this review, I would slightly disagree with you. I don't hear a score for Scarface. I definitely hear that this is very cinematic. And I had it in my head that it definitely sounds like a score as well, but it sounds more like a score for something like Requiem for a Dream or something like Euphoria, you know, the first season.
100%. You know, my wife said the same thing about Euphoria. I never watched it, but that was the first thing that she said. Yep.
Especially that song. I was like, this sounds like Rue. And because there's a lot of this idea of it's not just I'm on drugs and I'm partying, kind of like some of his other stuff. This one is like, I'm on drugs to mask the fact that I'm in pain.
Yes.
I'm longing. Like when he says, I hope you cry for me, like I cry for you every night. That doesn't sound like I'm having a good ass time.
Nah.
And when he got to that part about being in the bathtub and feeling like you're dying, that hit, because I've been there, not on drugs, but alcohol, you know, sitting in a homie's bathtub, just fucked up. And I was like, damn, this is so relatable. You know, this album definitely feels like he's longing for something, like he's missing something. And I think all these years later, it sounds corny, but Weeknd still is looking for love.
Yes.
And that's the thing that's missing. And whenever it happens, maybe that's why this is ending. Maybe that's why this is the end of Weeknd. I just came to me. Maybe he finally found love and he's leaving this part behind. I don't know. But when you listen to this album, I get a lot of, I am drowning myself in drugs because I am in pain because this woman that I want don't want me.
Yep. And I keep drinking and doing these drugs and I forget, and I'm going back to House of Balloons. I forget what you mean to me.
Or that.
So I keep fucking up, which is
See, I didn't get that from here though. Did you get that he keeps fucking up?
Yeah.
Or he's like fucking chicks because he's like, I'm
like these three songs, Reflections, Laughing with Travis Scott. Then you go to Enjoy the Show with Future, Giving Up on Me. That's where he talks about that. You know what I'm saying? So like, and I can't remember what song it was, but it reminded me of the intro to Beauty Behind the Madness. Because remember on that he says, mama says that I'll never find a girl that loves me. And he mentions his mom again and love. You know what I'm saying? So he's not meeting his mom's expectations by the women that he's dealing with.
I got that he just can't get it right. Like he can't get the right girl. Like
that's part of it, but because of the drugs and everything and the lifestyle, he cheats as well. Okay. So even when he gets a girl that is kind of like, oh, this could be the one,
he fucks it up. Okay,
which is why Shorty called.
Hear that? I believe you. I didn't catch.
I feel you.
I didn't catch that. You definitely listened to it more than I did.
Yes, I have. I had to, bro. Like, I'm telling you, the first 5-6 listens, it was just so much happening that I couldn't dive in.
Yeah,
and I had to like tell myself, okay, sit down for the whole thing, and just listen to what's happening because there's a story here outside of all of the commotion.
There was a song, "Take Me Back to L.A." And in that one, that's where I really started getting this idea that he's just like longing for love because he has a line where he says, "I hate it when I'm by myself," and he says it a few times. And we know, like, if you're fucked up on drugs and you're just looking to go get some ass and some pussy, whatever. It's not really a matter of I hate it when I'm, by myself. It's like you fucking this chick and then you're like, all right, you can leave.
Yeah.
But this is, I want to be in love.
Yes.
I want to be in love Weeknd. And I don't know, man. I feel this a bit more than I feel some of the trilogy stuff where I love that shit. But that didn't give me an I'm longing for love. That gave me, I'm getting fucked up. I might have got my heart broke by this chick and I'm gonna go fuck 12 and I'm not worried about that anymore. Yeah. This is more so I still want this girl back.
And that's why there is growth in the Weeknd at this point in his discography. Yeah. Because this album to me goes back to the trilogy a lot in terms of sonically and conceptually. And it's stuck like you have to throw in My Dear Melancholy in there too, because that's when he was, in my opinion, the most heart sick.
Yes.
Like that's when he was like,
that was when he was
like,
the saddest,
I'm
I
just
got
hurt.
dumped.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like he's kind of, and that's why I love it, because musically he gives you Starboy, he gives you the trilogy, he gives you Beauty Behind the Madness, but then conceptually he's tying all of it in.
Yes.
And it's just like, bro.
But he's still saying, I'm still here.
Yes.
I'm still this dude that doesn't have somebody. Like, and you know, we haven't really touched that much on the production, but like, I feel like this is some of his best production he's gone over. 100. And I never thought about it until this album is Weeknd never really has bad production.
Never.
And I think he needs to be in that conversation of somebody that knows the best of what he sounds the best over. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would never be like, yeah, put Weeknd over Mike Dean. That's a good idea. Never. You do it, and look what you get. It's incredible. And I think there's like a couple of Metro Boomin beats, if I'm not mistaken. I need B for that. But I think there's like Metro Boomin production, which I don't typically love because it's not really my kind of sound. But he sounds so good.
Metro has been showing his versatility though. And Mike, I agree. I think The Weeknd is a black hole in the sense that it doesn't matter what you throw.
I was like, bro, you call this man a black hole?
No, hole.
He would say it too.
Like you know, the astrological black hole.
Got it.
Where it doesn't matter whose production, who's the feature, what it becomes his.
Yep, I agree.
It's his. He just and the thing is, it's like you could put him on your album, and it's like, oh well, that song don't sound like the rest of your album. And it's like because
you got a Weeknd song on your album.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And he just does that, which is why, like, for whatever reason, his albums just work because it feels so cohesive. Even though he has like 4 pop joints, then he has like ballads, then he has a super fucking workout song like Sao Paulo. Like what the fuck? Like it's not supposed to work, but it does, and it's the perfect roller coaster of emotions.
You know, you brought something up. I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead.
The transitions.
Yes.
When you were saying that he has all of these songs and they go so well together, we didn't mention like. The fact that songs transition to each other so well. Like there's not like a typical album has that breath of space where it's like 3, 4, 5 seconds of space and then it moves on.
Not this one.
That. Like this just moves.
Yes, because and that's the thing that I love about his narration of the story.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he's rarely done that with like the skits, because he had a couple skits at the beginning and I'm like, what? But it literally moves the story along, man. And this reminded me of the Justin Timberlake and Timbaland album. Future Sex Sound, something like that.
The one with Cry Me a River?
Yes. Where like that album, it just flows because it goes from one song to the next. Like it transitions in. And he did that on here for the majority of it. And I can't remember another album that it was this heavy with the transitions.
Yeah, no, me either. I can't think of an album that has been this seamless. And the more we talk about it, I'm not with you yet.
I feel you.
I'm not with you.
You'll get there though.
But your argument is sound for this being, you know, the best Weeknd album. I'm not there yet, but it's easily one of the best.
Yes, it's top 3 off bat. Like,
this sounds like a movie.
Yes.
It really sounds like a movie, man. But yeah, this made me really want to go fork that money and go see him live.
You know what?
It really does.
I need to, especially if this is the last, because I've never seen him live.
Me either.
And my brother said he was amazing. So we need to. All right, so let's get to these grades, bro.
All right.
So for y'all that maybe this is the first review, since this is an artist that sings, we're not gonna do flow, we're gonna do singing. So we're gonna grade his singing, his lyrics, his production, the features, the execution, the replay value, and the overall. So Mike, I'll start off. The singing, I give him an A.
Yeah, fucking A. Yes, easy.
Yep.
Easy.
Lyrics, I'm gonna give him an A.
Yeah, from the first song, Wake Me Up, Come Find Me, It Feels Like I'm Dying. I was like, oh, this is touching my soul. A. God damn it.
The production, A+. A+. Like there's not a skippable. And like I said in the review, he gave you everything that you love from his whole career.
Yep.
The Starboy shit, the trilogy feel, the Beauty Behind the Madness feel. It has everything.
Yep.
So A+ on production.
I'm gonna go A. I don't want to go too hard. I'm gonna go A.
Okay. The features, I'm at an A. Because I feel that every single one, including the one that you didn't like with Playboy Cardi, they all fit perfect. Like and we didn't even talk about Lana Del Rey, which is kind of like his Skylar Grey for whatever reason.
I was gonna mention that. I don't hear her.
She didn't stand out like she typically does.
Right.
Yeah, she didn't stand out like she typically does.
He dropped her ass down in the mix. Ever since she came up with that fucking Republican ass husband, he fucking turned her shit down. Because I listened to it. I didn't know she was even on the album until like the fourth listen. I said, Lana Del Rey, that's my girl. Where the fuck is she? Yeah. He buried her ass.
Yeah. But features are A for me.
Features are B for me.
Okay.
It might become an A at some point, but nah. I mean, before I walked in, it might have been a C-.
I got you.
But it's a B.
Execution for me, A+. Because like you said, because the first listens, I was like, hour and a half. What the fuck? And the first 2-3 listens, I couldn't get past like 15, 16. So I literally had to make like clear out some time, sit down with it. But once I got through it a couple of times, I'm like, well, what do you take off? Because you take anything off, it fucks up the story.
Yep, exactly.
So that's why Execution is an A+ for me.
A+ for me, and that's the main A+ for me, because it takes a special artist to give you an hour and a half long album without it being, in Rod's words, offensively long.
Yeah.
Any other person that if I sat down for an hour and a half long album, I'd be annoyed. I don't even want an hour and a half long Run the Jewels.
Yeah.
I don't want an hour and a half long MF Doom. I don't want an hour and a half of anybody.
Yeah.
For some reason, this works.
Yeah. Replay value for me, A+. I can play this anytime, anywhere. Obviously, I have my favorites on here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's certain ones that I would go back to and listen to a lot more than others. But overall, as an entire 1 hour and a half project, the replay value is there. A+.
I'm with you. A+. Again, it's the length for me.
Yeah.
It's the fact that when I put this on and I'm fucking around the house, I'm fucking around at the, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. You can play it there. Yeah, you can play it with it. Yeah. Uh-huh.
This just goes in cycles, and it's never like, it never feels like it's too long.
Yeah.
It feels perfect. So yeah, A+ easy.
Yep. But yeah, overall, I technically could give it an A+ because I gave them 3 A+ and 3 A's. Mm-hmm. So I feel like, it's either A or A+ overall. It's fucking amazing. Like no skips. Everything you want from the Weeknd is here. You may need to get over some of the audible treats because it's just so much. Like there's a lot happening that you have to kind of it feels like you're outside and there's an atmosphere of music. And to get to the lyrics, you have to cut through that atmosphere because it's really thick. But once you're there, once you're on solid ground, it's like, yo, what's happening here is the most amazing experience audibly that you could have. This is one of the best albums I've heard.
Yeah, I agree. Overall, this is definitely an A+. I think, again, it takes a special artist to be able to tell a story like this and for it not to sound derivative or corny or cheesy. If someone told me like, yo, there's this artist that just sings about being on drugs and fucking women, but he's secretly in love and he wants to, he's longing for love, I'm like, man, that sounds like Drake.
Yeah.
Drake without the drugs. I don't want to hear that. I'm cool. But what Weeknd does here with making this longing sound, this sad sound, this somber sound, but putting it over this backdrop of almost party music, almost this upbeat music. It's this weird battle he has with sad content over happy sounds. Yep. And it just works so perfectly. It's an amazing marriage. And yes, I'm with you 100%. This is actually, I won't say A+. This is an A. This is an A. For me, I think this is going to be highly replayed the rest of this year. This is an incredible album. This is going to turn into one of those road trip albums you throw on. If you got a long ass drive, you're going to be dancing in the car and all that good shit. So yeah, this is incredible. And I hope this does not mean that this is his last album, period. Yeah. I really hope that this is just his transition away from being the Weeknd into Abel or whatever. Yeah. But as long as he's continuing with music and he's not trying to act. You can make movie soundtracks. Yep. I don't really need you in a movie. Yeah. Yeah. I don't really need you in a movie unless you're in the back, way somewhere. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, this is incredible.
Nah, I 100% agree. But look, Like I said, we typically cover the majority of the Weeknd albums. And there you go. C-Time's back on the channel. We appreciate you guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know how you feel about this album and rank your Weeknd albums in the comment section. You know what I'm saying? We may bring it up on the Community Says. If you know, you know. We out. Peace.
The fuck is wrong with you? God damn it, B! Oh my God! Yo!
That man joke. Oh man.
Bruh. Jesus Christ, B. Oh my God. What were you saying? Oh, Jesus. I'm trying to fix my life. God damn, my heart beating all hard. This is so relatable. You know, him laying in the bathtub feeling like he's dying. Who did that? Look, he just walking like he didn't do nothing wrong.